Hi everybody, Kyla here and welcome to The Ghosts That Haunt Me. Today we'll be taking a walk, so we're outside right now, and right now actually we're on the back porch. If you remember one of the previous stories that I told, I was in my kitchen and I heard out the window a little girl singing. Yeah, this is where I heard the singing, so came outside, nobody here. What are you gonna do, right? Little ghost singer. But yes, today we're gonna be taking a walk because not every ghost story happens indoors, right? This one is, I'm a walker and I like to go for long walks, and not all at once, but throughout the years of my going for walks, I have seen several things. So one route in particular is the one I take quite often. There's actually several ghost stories along there that I was gonna tell, and one starts off very personal, and then the other one's not personal at all, but very strange to me. So I thought I'd share them with you. If these stories sound familiar to you, if you have been watching me since the beginning with the other show on the other name, I have said this story before, but rather than reboot it, because it was bad weather that day and I wasn't very fond of it, I thought today's a gorgeous day. We got birds fighting over here. It's a gorgeous day out today. Don't know how long this nice weather's going to last. Let's go for a walk now. We're going to go for a short 5-kilometer walk that way, and we're going to tell some stories, and I hope you enjoy them. If you already heard them once, I hope you enjoy them again. But it's super sunny and I can't see in the sun, so unfortunately this is how you're going to see me. I'm going to be wearing sunglasses the whole time, but that's okay because these are really great sunglasses. So, so let's go. We're going to talk ghosts. Ghost talk. Okay, lots of cars on this road today, so I hope you'll be able to hear me. And basically the story starts off with this road here coming up this hill. If you see, watch this truck going over here, he's going to go down the hill, because I don't know if you can see it from where I'm standing. And basically this happened about maybe a year after my mother and my grandmother passed away. They passed away within a month of each other, and 3 years after my grandfather passed away. Now, I had some life-saving surgery, and one of the things that they said to do for recovery is to go for walks. So so I don't do anything halfway. I'm like, well, if I'm going for walks, I'm going to make it worth my while. So eventually, as I started to heal and started to recover more and more, I started walking farther and farther. So now it's like in the wintertime, I'll go 5-6 kilometers. You know, in the summertime, I'll go forever. You know, like I'll just go and go and go. And it, sometimes 10, 15. My maximum has been 21 kilometers. So I don't do that too often. But so I was going for a walk, and this is right around the time when I was starting, probably within the first few months after my surgery, and I was going this way down this hill. And as I'm walking this way, a car comes over this hill over here, and it was my car. And that's what I thought was really weird, because I, at the time, drove a really ugly silver station wagon. I don't like station wagons. I've never liked station wagons. So I was like, oh my God, don't tell me somebody else in town has this crappy 2002 station wagon that's silver and it's just hideous. So I like, you know, but then I was like looking at it going, no, that's my car. I inherited that car from my grandparents. That's my car. So I turned around and looked back, and sure enough, my car was still in the driveway. Like I had just started the walk, so I can see my house from here, right? And I look over, I'm like, no, my car's over there. Who the hell is this? And as it's coming up, there's 3 people in the car. The driver was a man who looked exactly like my grandfather did in the 1980s. Exactly like him. The other 2, I honestly didn't see. I just saw that they were people. I didn't see who they were, because I was so focused on the driver, because he looked exactly like my grandfather did in the mid-1980s. My grandfather was a big, burly, strong man in the 1980s, and it was just like, okay. And he looked at me, and he put his hand up like this, and drove by. And I literally was like this. This is how fast it was as the car drove by. I was like, because you go down this way and it goes down to an intersection, and just turning like that as the car drove past, the car was gone. And I'm like, okay, my car's still in the driveway, nobody has stolen my ugly silver station wagon, and the car that I just saw with the man waving at me just disappeared. So I kind of think, like, if you remember from the last story, I said that I saw the ghost of my grandfather, and I have a feeling that maybe he was there to maybe guide my mother and my grandmother over to the other side. I'm wondering if that was him telling me, we're good, because I've never seen my grandfather again, and I miss him. But that was the last time I saw him, and I saw him at a time when he was robust and strong, and maybe that's the way he wants to look. I don't know. Or maybe that was something that would catch my attention because he's in a 2002 car, but he looks exactly like he did in the 1980s. I don't know. Those are things that I thought about, but I can assure you 100% that that was my grandfather driving in his old car. So, yeah, I'd like to think that it was him with my grandmother and my mother, and the wave was just him saying, we're all okay. That's how I like to think of it. Great, I'm in the shade so I can take my sunglasses off for a little bit. I can't really see too much, but I can see you, so I hope you can see me. But we are now in the local cemetery, and I did have an experience in the cemetery. Now, there are people out there who say that there are no ghosts in cemeteries. This is just where the bodies are, this is just the shell, and there's no reason, these should be the least haunted places in the world, and there's no reason at all why there should be ghosts here. And I disagree. Not just because I've had my own experiences, but I mean, yeah, okay, the cemeteries, graveyards, they are made for the living, so the living can come and visit the loved one that they've lost. Yes, but who's to say that, you know, somebody doesn't come and visit themselves or visit somebody else, or it is just a residual energy of somebody who is, you know, repeating the pattern over and over again of somebody that they used to visit. Maybe this was an integral part of their life, right? So I know for a fact, straight out, because I mean, I specialize in my photography is cemetery photography. That's one of my specialties. There's a couple of cemeteries that I frequent a lot just because I feel peaceful and at peace there. So, I mean, who's to say? I don't even plan on being buried in a cemetery, and I can guarantee you I will probably be haunting a cemetery every once in a while because I like them. And maybe there are ghosts like that too. You don't know. You never know, right? So, but I did have an experience here. So the people, the naysayers who say that there are no ghosts in cemeteries, I say, I have had 2 experiences in 2 cemeteries, and this is one of them. Now, this experience was a while ago. This was in the 1990s, so I was still pretty young back then. I was a little young and dumb, but but it happened right around in this area behind me over here. I'm not exactly sure of the exact location because the tree that was there that I used kind of as a marker is now gone. But yeah, there was a woman. I was walking down the street. I think I was going to the store or the post office or something, and I'm walking down the street, and I see a lady in the cemetery, which is, I mean, that's not a big deal, right? People go to cemeteries all the time. And she was an older lady. You know, like not old, like not, you know, 90s or 80s or anything like that. I'd say maybe, you know, like middle-aged, you know, late 50s. She had dark hair. It was pulled back, and it looked, I mean, it was a distance, so I can't be 100% sure, but it looked like maybe there was some gray in it, but not a lot, like it was darker hair. She was a little heavy set, and she had like a denim skirt and kind of like a dark blue, not quite black, but not blue, like kind of sweater, kind of like a jacket sweater type thing. And she was standing over a grave, and she was just looking down at it, you know, like somebody visiting a relative where they just look at the grave and they just stand there and look at it. And she had her hands folded in front of her like this, and she's just looking down. And I didn't think anything of it. And, you know, so I just was walking along. And then, you know, when you walk by and there's like a tree, you walk past a tree and the tree blocks your view. That's what happened. I walked past a tree. And as I went from one side of the tree to the other side of the tree, this woman was gone. And I was like, what? I said, there was a tree over here. But it wasn't like she was springing into action, hiding behind the tree or anything like that. I just remember going, where the hell did she go? Like, she did not look like a spry lady who was gonna, you know, do gymnastics to run and sprint out of the cemetery. As you can see, it's pretty wide open. You know, you can see somebody if they run this way or run that way. So I was like, where did this woman go? So I actually came into the cemetery and I started looking around for her. Now, I kick myself to this day because I didn't look at the stone which she was looking at. I was looking for her because I'm like, I was just not mesmerized, but like dumbfounded that this woman disappeared in front of my eyes, basically. It's like I walked past a tree and she disappeared. I'm like, if she ran that way, I would have seen her. If she ran this way, I would have seen her. If she ran towards me, obviously I would have seen her. If she had ran into the backyards of the houses over here, I would have seen her. And she didn't exactly look like the running type, you know? Like it was just so strange. And so I chalked that up to a ghostly experience because she disappeared. This was not a young gymnast who was looking at a grave. This was an older lady who was a little heavy set, who looks like running probably wasn't her thing, you know? So I'm just like, you know, and I've wondered ever since then, like we're talking maybe 30 years ago now, I do wonder who this woman was. And I walked around the general area, but I honestly don't know what grave she was looking at. And that's happened to me in the other cemetery too. I wasn't really looking too much at the grave. I was looking at what I was seeing. But that one I think I have a better idea, and we will talk about that one again. But yeah, I was just like kicking myself because I didn't look at the grave and maybe go like, that's a family. Maybe it was her. Maybe she was looking at her own grave. Maybe she was like, I wonder if anybody's taking care of it. I wonder if anybody still comes visits me. You know, like, are all my relatives all gone? Have they moved away? Are they still here? You know, like that type of thing. So that's something that I found really interesting, is that, you know, people say nothing happens in a cemetery. I have to disagree because that was my first experience with somebody in a graveyard that really wasn't there. Side note here, I love this time of year. Just walking past and listening to all the birds singing, the dogs barking. I heard some bullfrogs in the little wetlands area there. So I love this part of town. At this time of year especially too, because it's a beautiful day. It feels like summer, but the bugs aren't abundant. So yeah, it's a good day. If you watch my other channel, Kyla Life is a Story, I will be taking you on some walks with me, I'm sure. And we'll be talking more on that later. So yeah, watch Kyla Life is a Story as well. Here's what I'm going to do just while I'm walking, because it's at a certain house and I don't want to film that person's house. They might not like it. This is maybe, if there's a negative story, it might be this one. Plus, there's a landscaper with a leaf blower over on one side, and on the other side of the street there are people doing construction, so there was noise, and it was a location with no shoulder. So if a car came, I would be standing out in the middle of the road telling a story and probably getting hit. So I'm just going to do this one while I'm on the run and past the house that I'm going to be talking about. So this story basically is more in the evening time. I prefer to do my walking during the morning, but that doesn't always happen. So when you get to like the summer hours and stuff where the light is longer than, you know, in the winter, I like to go for walks sometimes 4 or 5, sometimes even later. This one was really late. This was in the summertime several years ago. I'd say around dusk. So not dark, but not light either. And I'm walking along, and I'm on my way back. I'm going back this way. And as I'm walking along, I see somebody in the distance crossing the road. But crossing the road really, really fast. Like, it didn't look like, you know, the way I'm walking here, and I got kind of the jauntiness with the camera and stuff like that. It was really odd. It was kind of super fast, but not... I can't even describe it. It was like moving at an unnatural pace for a human being, and almost like it wasn't even touching the ground. It was kind of just sort of not floating, but just still, you know, kind of weird. I can't even explain it. It was just like, it wasn't moving like a regular human. It was moving faster than a human, but it had a human form. But you couldn't see anything. There was no features. It was just a shadow. Which is why I thought maybe this might be considered a negative story, because I've heard that shadow people can be negative. I don't know how much stock I put into that. I don't think everything's negative, right? Every shadow person can't be negative. So I don't know. It was running from one side of the street to the other side of the street, and I watched it as it ran onto the property of this house, and it looked like it ran into the side of the house. Like it entered the house through the wall, through the side of the house. Well, you know when your brain has thoughts that are so fast that your mouth can't keep up with them type of thing? I can tell you within like a millisecond, all that was going through my head was, that person's running really weird. What the hell's going on? And he just broke into that guy's house. Like it was like, my brain went rational and went, somebody is breaking into this person's house. So as I'm walking by, I'm looking, I'm thinking, you know, am I going to find like a broken door? Am I going to find something really odd? Like what's going on? And so yeah, I was like, what's going on? And my brain wasn't quite processing it. I didn't feel any fear. So I was like, okay, maybe somebody's not breaking into the house. But that was still really strange. And I kind of left it at that. I didn't really do anything other than that. And then after that is when I started looking up things about shadow people and how they can be negative and all this kind of stuff. But like I said, I didn't feel anything except the thought process of, this is really odd. That person, why is that person running so weird? Why am I not hearing any sound? And did he just break into somebody's house? So that's all I really thought. And I didn't think about it too much after that until I started learning more about shadow people. And then I started wondering, okay, is this a shadow person? Because I didn't see any features on this person. It was like one of those people who wears those, what are they called, morph suits? That's all one color from head to toe. Kind of like that, only it was all black. So I'm not sure. And the other thing that I find really, really interesting about that story, and it might just be a coincidence, I don't know, but that house has the most sales on it. It seems like after only a couple of years, it's a nice house. It's a little bungalow house. It's a nice house. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it, but it goes up for sale a lot. So I don't know if that has something to do with what I saw. If the house is, you know, being disturbed by someone or something. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that house every couple of years always seems to go up for sale, and it goes up for sale more than any other house on this street. And that's just something that makes me ponder, maybe I saw something that wasn't happy and it's making the people unhappy. So I don't know, something I think is interesting, and I'm not going to buy that house. So Right, so this is not the exact location that I wanted to be. Where I wanted to be was just a little further down the road, but there are construction workers down there working on some hydro towers or something, I don't know. Basically, everybody and their cousin wanted to come out today. I don't know, you hit a nice day and everybody wants to be outside, right? So I'm a little irritated. Plus, I just stepped in some mud, so one of my shoes is caked in mud and my foot is wet, so I'm a little cranky all of a sudden. So it was hidden by leaves and I stepped right in it. That's like up to my ankle in mud now, so I am not a happy girl at the moment. Okay, so this experience was on this property, but not in this location. It was further down. This is a cattle farm for Highland cattle. And it's, you know, they're for meat, and I'm a vegetarian, so I'm totally against that. But so this one, it was in September, and I noticed I seem to have a lot of activity that I notice more in September. I don't know if it's the time of year, the changing of the season, the fact that it's getting close to Samhain or Halloween, you know, so it's just like, I don't know, but September seems to be the big time of year for me to see things. So I find that interesting too. I'd have to say that this location is the creepiest one that I've had. It was kind of like a wet, not raining, but it wanted to rain kind of day. It wasn't drizzly, it was just, the air was damp. It was cold. I was, you know, wearing like a little jacket, and it was just, you could feel the wetness in your bones, even though it was damp, but it wasn't raining, you know, like that kind of weather. It was really weird. And I was just going for my walk. So I was walking down the street. I'm on the other side of the street walking this way, and as I'm walking down, I see this guy. Well, I'm assuming it was a man. I never saw the face. I just saw the jacket or the coat he was wearing, and the hat. And he was on the other side of this fence down there, and there are some bushes and stuff along that side there, and his head was down and he was doing this. And he wasn't moving. And at first I thought it was a Halloween decoration because it was September. And I was like, the person that lives here, I don't know him, but he's not really the Halloween type. I've never known this person to put anything Halloween up, ever. So I was like, okay, because I'm thinking it's a scarecrow. And then I was like, well, there's no crows to scare here. It's a cattle farm. There's no crops of corn or anything. So why would he put a scarecrow? And why there? It was just standing there, like almost at one of these posts here, but just standing there, and it was not moving. And so I thought, okay, so he's put a scarecrow up. Then I was like, okay, there's no crows to scare here, because the cattle scares the crows when it comes to that. And I'm like, okay, so that's not it. And then I was like, okay, it's a Halloween decoration, but this guy does not do the Halloween thing. So I was like, okay, and I'm just looking at this person and I'm not thinking anything of it. And then it moved. Now, when this person moved, it actually made me jump, because at that time I thought it wasn't real. I thought it was a decoration. I thought it was a scarecrow. I thought it was a statue type of thing, like not moving, not alive. But its head was down like this, and it put its head up like that. And I jumped a little bit. I was like, what the? And I got to describe this costume that it was wearing. Just had to wait for a tractor to go by. It was pretty loud. But the costume, or the clothing that it was wearing, it was like this huge wide brimmed hat. And it was like a up to here to the ground long slick coat, like a slicker, or not leather, like maybe oilskin or something like that. It was, the best comparison I can give you is, if you've seen the movie Jeepers Creepers, and what the bad guy, I've honestly never seen the movie, but whatever the guy wears in that movie with the big wide brim hat and the long coat, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of the creature from Jeepers Creepers, the movie Jeepers Creepers. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google that and you'll see the hat and the coat, and that's what it made me think of. But even when they lifted their head, they didn't lift it up so that all the way so that I could see the face. It was just down, and then it came up, and it was still like, looked like he was focused on the bushes that were in front of him right there, like almost like they were picking berries. But these are not berries that you can eat. They're not edible. Well, they are, but they're poisonous. But so I was like, what is this person doing? Still thinking, okay, they've scared me. Maybe they were trying to give me a little jump scare. It worked. And they had their little ha-ha moment, and they were picking berries. But I'm like, what are they picking? There's nothing here to pick. You can't eat these berries. But they didn't acknowledge my existence. They just were sitting there doing whatever down here like this, with whatever. And I was like, okay. So I'm literally staring at this person, just staring at them. And then they just sort of turn away from me. I was going this way. They turned to go this way. And then they just started going this way. But they didn't walk like a normal person. And it's not like the shadow person thing. This one's very different. This one almost was like they were floating. And I'm not saying it looked like it was like, ah, but you know how like a person walks and they go, like, up and down, up and down. This was just more like a steady, like they were almost like they were on like a treadmill, where they were just going along like that, just coasting along. And they were going slow, and I'm staring at them the whole time. Literally, like I'm like, and I never took my eyes off them. This was not somebody I recognized. This was not somebody who lives at this house. This is not somebody who visits this house. This man is an elderly man, and he has been here longer than me, like longer than I've been alive. He has lived here this whole time. And he does not, this person has never been here. So then I started wondering, is this person trespassing on the property? Is the old man okay? Like, what's going on? And again, it was another one of those, they walk over and there's these trees blocking the way, and they kept going, and then they didn't come out from the other side of the tree. So literally I was like, fuck, so I come back and I'm looking around, and this person is completely gone. Completely gone. Like there is no sight anywhere of this person. I'm like, they're on the side of the property. They're on the side where the cows are. So they're familiar with livestock, and it looked like they were picking berries of where there were no berries that were edible, and they kind of looked like they were just gliding along, and then they were gone. So what the hell did I see? And it was one of those, even then, I was like, I think I just saw a ghost. I think I just saw like something, like maybe some residual energy. I'm thinking maybe somebody who lived here so long ago, even before the elderly man that lives here now, and like maybe it was that long ago. Like there were berries there that you could pick, and maybe this was a farm of that person. Maybe it's an ancestor of the man who lives here now. You know, I don't know. But it was just like, I think it was maybe just residual energy of doing the same thing, repetition over and over and over again, just, you know, picking berries or something like that. But he was creepy looking. Like it was, and Jeepers Creepers. That's the best comparison to how this guy looked. Never saw a face, because the hat never came up like enough, and I never saw the face. But I can just say, looked like he was picking berries, moved, scared the hell out of me, turned, and sort of glided away. And at the time, I didn't look at it like going, okay, this is the way a ghost glides, or anything. I didn't look at that, because he was solid. He was solid. There was no mist. You couldn't see through him or anything like that. He might not even be a guy. It could have been a woman. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm just going, it looked like a guy to me. But it was so strange. And that was to me the creepiest one. That one actually gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit, because of the location and on the wrong side of the property, and the sudden jump scare of the movement and all that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking now it might have been residual energy of maybe somebody who lived here many decades ago, and maybe they were picking berries. I don't know, but that one to me was the creepiest. I didn't get a good vibe from whatever it was. So we got one more to go. So we're gonna head back. We're gonna head all the way down to the road there, and then we're gonna turn around and go back. So we're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, we're heading back to the next location, but I just want to show you here. I don't know, I can't see anything because my face is right in the sun, so I don't know. This is basically the general area of where it was. I'm a little bit further away from the construction that I thought I'd be, but yeah, it was all these vines here. That's what's here. All these vines, and they have those berries that are not edible. Like I said, they're probably edible just once, and then you won't feel much of anything except maybe being really sick or you die. But yeah, so I don't know what this person was picking, and we're actually gonna come to, I think it was that pole up there. You see the poles there, the street poles. I think that's what it was that it walked behind, and I missed it because they were here and I watched them walk all the way up there, and then they disappeared. So yeah, interesting. All right, I found some shade, so I'm in the shade right now. So if you can't see me, that's okay. You don't need to see me anyway. But I'm in the shade, so I was able to take my sunglasses off for a little while. And what I wanted to talk about here, the final location on this street, is this corner right here, where you see this car going past through. Something happened to me on this intersection. Now I am stretching it a little bit because it wasn't a walk. I was driving. So I think this was the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. It was before I moved back home. So I was away and I was driving down this road, and I was coming to visit my parents. And I'm just driving along here, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and this was around dusk, a dog, a big dog, like I'd say maybe Great Dane sized dog, just ran out in front of me while I'm driving, and I wasn't able to stop. Like literally, it just goes like boom, and just came right out at me. And it was before this intersection, so I was still coming up this way, and it came so suddenly and so fast, I didn't have time to stop, and I panicked. Like I slammed on the brakes, and clearly I would have hit this thing. I would have hit this dog. It was a big black dog. I would have hit it. It sent me into a panic. I am a massive animal lover. I love dogs. I love cats. I love horses. I love frogs. I love turtles. I love everything. I love animals. So the thought that I just ran over one sent me into a massive panic. And I was like, oh my God, I just hit a dog. Now what you don't know is on this side of the street over here, there's a kennel. There's a, kind of like a doggy hotel. So if you go away and you need somebody to look after your dog, they'll look after your dog for a number of days. It's one of those places. And so I thought, okay, a dog escaped from the kennel and is now running willy-nilly on the street. and I've just hit it, and I've just killed it. Oh my God. So I immediately stopped. I didn't even pull off to the side. I immediately stopped, got out of the car thinking that there's going to be this poor dead or dying dog in front of me. And so I rush out, and there's nothing there at all. And I know there was a dog there. There was a big dog. Now, this is a rural area, and we do have coyotes. I can guarantee you this was not a coyote. It was way too big to be a coyote. In the next town over, I have seen a wolf. So, you know, could it have been a wolf? Again, it was pretty big, and I don't think any wolves in this area would get that big. But, you know, and then where did it go? You know, it wasn't a fox, it wasn't a coyote, it wasn't a wolf, it wasn't, you know, it was to me a giant dog. Like, we're talking Great Dane size, like a big black dog. And all I thought was, oh my God, I've just hit a dog. And I come out and there's nothing there. And I even checked the car because I'm like, okay, well, if, you know, I hit it, there's going to be something on the car, like either, you know, like a dent in the car or a piece of the dog on the car type of thing. So I'm looking there and there's nothing. No dog, no damage to the car, nothing. So I was like, what was that? What was that? So the kennel's been here for a long time. All I was wondering was, is it possible that at one time there was a Great Dane there that got out and ran out and got hit by something? I don't know. It was just so strange to me. And at the same time, relief, because I didn't kill a dog. So I was very happy about that. So far my record is, I think I ran over a toad once, and that was enough to send me over the edge. So I have not, you know, knock on wood, I'm on a tree here, knock on wood, that I will never run over an animal. So good in that respect, but at the same time kind of weird because I hit it. I know that it ran out in front of me. So yeah. That was the final experience on this road. Now I take many routes when I go for my walks. This was the one that I started on when I got back into walking, but I'll go that way, I go that way. I go all over town. I go to different towns and go for different trails and things like that. So I'm all over the place. And I've had experiences everywhere, but this one seems to be the most, maybe because I take it more than any other route, this is the most abundant in activity for me. And it's been over the years. So yeah. It's a nice day. So now we're gonna head on back, and I'll do my little goodbye once I get back. So I just thought this was a really good spot because it looks cool. I like the stairs, and I love the red brick here and everything. But we're not right near a highway, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me. So I'll just move as close in as possible. But I love these fire escape stairs and stuff. But makes a good shot for photos. So that's it for that road. Like I said, I've taken other walks and I've experienced little things. And it's not just something that happened overnight. This is something that's happened over years, like decades. Like I said, the one in the cemetery was back in the 90s. So yeah, it's been a long time. It's not just something like every time I go for a walk, I see something. And I don't think anything's necessarily evil. It just, like I got the creeps from I'll call him the Jeepers Creepers guy. And it made me feel uncomfortable, but that might have just been because he was a jerk in life, Like, if you were bad in life, you're not going to cross over and automatically become a nice person, right? So if you were bad in life, you're going to be bad in death. So I didn't feel like my life was in mortal danger. It just caught me off guard. And I think that's what most people are afraid of, is being caught off guard. Like, when you see a mouse and you jump because it's just so fast, kind of like that. It's something that as we grow, we perceive it as not being natural. It's not something we're told is real, so therefore we question it and we become afraid of it. That's my thing. But to me, ghosts and spirits are a reason for hope that this isn't it. Like, we do go on. I'd like to think that anyway. But so, I mean, if you see a ghost, don't think that you're in mortal danger. Just go with it and realize that it's just another realm and another avenue of life in a different way. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's not like I'm really that smart in this or not, but I'm trying. It was too cute, I just scared a chipmunk. when I was coming over here, I looked over and I was like, did I just see movement? And I'm like, I'm sitting here talking about ghosts. Did I just see movement that's not natural? No, it was natural. It was a chipmunk. I think his nest might be around here somewhere, and I'm sitting on it, and he's all mad at me because he keeps running back and forth now. He's not leaving, but he's not coming over here either. So all I saw was his chipmunks come out from under the stairs going phew over there, and now he just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. He's waiting for me to leave, I think, so he can come back home. But like I said, I've been on walks in different locations, and I've had different experiences in different locations. Just this one, because it's my most frequent walk, I think that's why I've had more on this than any place else. But what about you? Have you had any sort of experiences just out and about where it's just totally random and just like, what the hell's that type of thing? Have you had like that flash where you're going for a walk or you're going for a bike ride and all of a sudden you see something that isn't supposed to be there, or you've hit the phantom animal or the phantom person, you know, and with your car, and then you get out and there's nothing there? You know, have you had any experiences like that? You know, put it in the comment section, because I love reading them, and I hope that that you enjoy this, because I enjoyed doing it. It was such a beautiful day today. You'd never know that this is early spring. This is like 24 degrees. This feels like summer without the humidity and without all the bugs. There's some bugs, but not an over excessive amount of bugs. So it's great. It's a great day today. But if you subscribe to my other channel as well, which is called Kyla Life is a Story, I will be taking you on other walks, because I do it all the time. I go for walks all the time. And for that channel, again, another brand new channel, I will be probably taking you out for more than 1 or 2 walks. I think I've already got one on. Yeah, I do. I have, when I went for the coldest night of the year walk. Yeah, I was out there on that, and I took you with me, so it's on there. And yeah, and I also have the other channel as well, which is just Kyla McCall, and I do a lot of my singing videos, or just old videos. Some of them I gotta erase, because I've been a part of the YouTube family since 2007. Truck going by. Since 2007, and yeah, those guys got so much stuff. I think I'm just gonna start deleting the really old stuff now. But yeah, so subscribe to this channel, The Ghosts That Haunt Me. I would love that. Subscribe to my other channels, which is Kyla Life is a Story and Kyla McCall. So that's pretty much it for the day, and I am looking forward to tonight. I'm going on an interview for somebody who had some ghostly experiences. He doesn't want to be filmed, but I'm going to take the interview, and then I'm going to go to the location, because I want to sort of travel through that town and find a couple of haunted spots in there. And he says he lived in a place that was very haunted. So I'm looking forward to that one. And that is it. I will see you later. And remember, just because your 5 senses don't detect it doesn't mean it's not really happening. Bye everybody. See you soon.